I thought Hitman was pretty good, and I would have liked it even more if John Wick hadn't come along and shown us how great assassin movies can really be. The movie centers on Agent 47, a highly trained hitman for hire who's contracted to assassinate the Russian president. It turns out to be a setup, and he finds himself on the run from Interpol, the Russian FSB, and his own agency. Accompanied by Nika, the president's mistress, he must uncover the conspiracy by fighting his way to the truth. Timothy Olyphant plays Agent 47, but bald is not a good look for him. He looks way better with hair. Originally, Vin Diesel had the role. While he can pull off the no hair thing, his muscular build doesn't really match the svelte appearance of Agent 47 in the video games. The movie seems oddly uneven at parts, so I wasn't surprised when I found out Fox had taken Final Cut away from director Xavier Gens. Apparently his version was way too violent and bloody. I watched the unrated version, which is probably closer to the director's vision, and there was definitely some parts that seemed a little out of place, like the torture scene with Nika. In fact, the entire subplot dealing with the relationship between Agent 47 and Nika seemed off too. The chemistry between the two was just awkward, and I know it's supposed to be because he's an unemotional killing machine and she's a lascivious prostitute, but I don't think his reasons for saving and protecting her were really developed or brought out.
I brought you breakfast.
Or maybe they were just cut. Either way, it's not the actor's fault. Olyphant plays a character as mechanical as he can without being outright dull. Olga Kurylenko does a fine job as Nika, or maybe it's just nice to see a Russian character being played by an actual Russian, and not someone doing a Yakov Smirnoff impression. She was also in The Death of Stalin, which was a great movie, by the way. Check that one out. Even if you accept Hitman as a mindless action movie, there's still some problems. And these problems are really noticeable now that we have John Wick movies to compare it to. John Wick is a more compelling hero because he's human. He always prevails, but not without never-ending struggle, so it feels earned. Agent 47, on the other hand, seems unstoppable. We never see him bleed, fall, or fail in any way. I don't even think he ever reloads, and he never even has a look of doubt on his face. We're supposed to be awestruck by his superiority, but we're also never worried about him because there's no threat. This doesn't just apply to combat either. He's always one step ahead of the enemy's plans and the audience. Add that to his deadpan personality, and you end up with a main character that's hard to relate to or even care about. Hitman did relatively well in theaters, making $100 million on a budget of $24 million, but it failed to please critics. Big surprise. Effort was made to mirror the game as much as possible, so fans of the franchise will enjoy it more than the average viewer. It isn't a bad video game movie, and despite being tethered to a weak protagonist, I actually enjoyed this movie more than I expected.